Man, I'm on this 303 baby timing, man. Hey, yo, Thriller, man, what we doing, gang? Hunters coming and make sure that paper going all around. I ain't trying to hit, I know these.
And welcome to the National Meat Treasure with your host. Wait, what? Huh? Hold on. Let's start that one more time. And welcome to the National Meat Treasure with your host, Sasha. National Meat Treasure podcast with your host, Sasha, a.k.a. Anthony Von Mendel, or Mendel Von, the founder of White Claw, as this is my last White Claw because I realized they just kind of make me tired and give me a headache. But this was in my fridge, so I'm going to enjoy this last one here with you boys before I retire the crown.
You know what we got to do? It is your boy Christian, a.k.a. Andy Griffith, for no other reason because this hat just made me think of that show. Anyone under the age of 35 is really confused. 33. I'll give you 33. What were you saying?
You were saying what we need to do, and I feel like you're about to reference the White Claw. Sasha's drinking.
White Claw. We need to get rid of White Claw. We need to get rid of all hard seltzers. Hard seltzers are disgusting. Can we just can we stop the shenanigans? The shenanigans are over the limit. When I have random people thinking they can hand me warm hard seltzers,
warm isn't nice. That's not right.
We got a problem. There is no craft hard seltzer. I don't need to know it. I'm not going there. I'm not visiting. Don't invite me.
I do love a hard seltzer, but like these ones have, it's like a 40. Like that's like the cheapest, most low quality alcohol mixed with seltzer that's like half flavored with shitty iron or whatever the fuck they flavor the shit with. It's just I like them all. I think they're all delicious. But you know. Also, who's handing you warm White Claw? Like,
man. They got them straight out the box.
Okay, only because my neighbor definitely doesn't listen to the pod. But if she does, my bad. But she's a psychopath for even handing that to me. And like good old like I'm 35 and I felt peer pressure because I was like, yeah, I don't fuck with like any of that. Like it's just not my thing. And literally, it took one sip. And just like the memories of like shitty hurricanes, like just rolled back in. That St. Ides, like that flavor of malt liquor, just hit the back of my tongue, and I was like, bleh, no, thank you. Spit it right the fuck out.
Yummy.
Like, fuck this. You're fucking up my weed mouth. Like, I need to get my cannabis clear. Weed and coffee. That's a winning combo flavor. That's a winning combo flavor.
That's a fact. Yeah.
Please.
It is Thriller from the 3, a.k.a. Joey from NMT, a.k.a. Damier Thrilla. Damier Thrilla.
Damier. Is that some other luxury brand we are not privy to?
No,
He definitely just
Damier
made it.
is a specific pattern for a specific line of Louis Vuitton products. So if you ever see a Louis Vuitton bag or wallet, and it's like the little checker. It looks like a checkerboard where like one square is darker than the other. That's the Damier line. I just love that word. I feel like it's a really pretty word, Damier.
That's crazy.
I was like,
right?
wow, that's hard.
There's like
Damier?
luxury brands when they come up with like their own. So like when companies like look at like colors or textures or patterns that they want to copyright, there's so much that goes into it, and it's really weird to think that you can copyright a color. But you can. There's literally like ways to create these things out of nowhere. Like Honda has its own blue that no one can mimic.
Wow.
Like there's a specific type of blue, and I think if you see it, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's the blue.
Honda blue.
There's a few brands that do that, and like even like when you go to venues and they have their signature scent, like you don't go to Barclays, and it's literally they're pumping a signature scent throughout the entire venue. So you can like have this association with the place because there's going to be clean notes and citrus notes and weird shit that makes you want to buy shit or be there. Yeah.
That I didn't know.
Science, bro. Science.
I like that for you. Let's.
I obsess over things.
You really do. And it's just, is there like a pattern to it? Like the shit you randomly like
No.
research? Or is it just, are you guys, I think you, is it a television thing or like a research thing? Like,
I'm a
Like,
super
are you-
researcher. So I've been realizing that like I'm a person that like if I want to find something out, if I want to learn about it, like I'll like dive into every piece of it, absorb every piece of media to just kind of understand it. And if it's a video game, if it's me figuring out how to put on like brakes, or it's like me learning about shrimp that are being experimented on by having them run on treadmills. We don't know why. These are things that come across me.
You said shrimp.
My question is, like, what is your lever, though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, could you come across, hey, they're engineering shrimp? Like, for example, right? With me, if I came across an article or a Netflix documentary or whatever about people trying to genetically modify shrimp to run on treadmills, I gotta say, I would not be that interested. You would, though. Like, where is the meter for you? It
sounds crazy. That's why.
Now, if, like, Elden Ring lore, for some reason, I just feel like the game is so expansive. I've never even played it. But I will watch 40 minutes of Elden Ring TikToks and hear all the stories, especially if it's a well-done TikTok or even a YouTube video.
The thing is, when I hear things that are like very random, I think my brain gets very excited about it, and it just like latches onto it. It goes like, "Ooh, I've never heard that before. Why would somebody do that?" I'm also really good at recognizing patterns, I guess. So I like purposely look for it, and I try to see why these things happen. Like there's this whole thing, right? And I think a lot of people have this misunderstood about me. Like, I love pro wrestling, okay? But do I like watching it? Not entirely. Like, it's not always my favorite thing to watch, because like it's especially like modern day wrestling on like the national spectrum, you know, the WWE kind of style, not my thing entirely. But what's so interesting to me is like finding out how the sausage is made. Like literally realizing that there's this whole industry of politics and money and merchandise moving and, you know, reasons for why people get, you know, what they call a push or, you know, de-pushed, you know, basically getting buried, why things are going in a certain direction. Some people are tapped on, you know, like as the golden person because they have faith in their natural abilities, and some people just kind of have to grind it out, and that is exciting to me. I think that's something that like that's unique to it as a piece of entertainment, because there is an athleticism that you have to hit, but there's also a dramatic part that you have to hit, and depending on what kind of style of wrestling you go into, it could be a whole different thing. But again, finding out how the sausage is made, how all these different companies that do like maybe a different style, like you're not going to find Japanese wrestling to be at, you know, on the same level as like something on WWE, right? Because they're supposed to be presented completely differently. But, you know, that's exciting to me, again, because I love hearing about it, and I'm a massive researcher, so I'll learn everything about it. So it's just one of those things that piques my interest. Like, music's the same thing. Like, I literally, like, landed on that Trap Laura Ross, like, video, because you guys have talked about, you know, just kind of the music scene for rap and trap music and whatnot. I mean, not trap music, drill music. And, yeah, that was it. Just like I dove into it. All of a sudden, I'm watching like 50 hours of FBG Duck, and like I'm like, what the fuck is this? Where am I? And I'm like deep into like people's like social medias, and yeah, bro. Like I think it's just I gotta like do what these guys are doing. Like, you know, those wavy. What's that dude?
You gotta kill people? Is that what they're saying?
No. More like no. I am gonna pull a Trap Laura Ross or a what's that dude? Wavy Web or some shit like that. He's like Wang's like counterpart, but just like a little cleaner. Yeah, those dudes just like I guess get content and lost media stuff and just go, yeah. Do you remember this meme guy? This is what happened to that person. Why didn't I think of that shit? I'm on it tomorrow.
I was gonna say you can, bro.
The solo content is. I feel like the podcast era is kind of dying out, whereas the solo, it's not dying out. I shouldn't say that, but I feel like because more super famous people are starting podcasts. Like Lotto has a podcast right now. The City Girls, or at least one of them, Carisha has a podcast. Like
I have a problem with that.
I think what happens is people, especially with like rappers and comedians, people in like a form of, when you're in media, period, you want to touch all of it, right? Most people don't want to just be a rapper. They want to be a movie star. They want to be a podcaster. They want to be run a network. They want to do a lot of things.
A porn star.
And I think
maybe
not porn star, unless you're Suki. Shout out to Suki Hana the GOAT. But I think she's it backwards. She's a porn star turned media person rapper. Most rappers go the other way.
Right.
That's crazy,
but
Cardi B, she turned it all around. Sex worker to like fucking fashion mogate.
Damn, who's checking on Cardi B though? Is she doing anything?
She just had like her second kid. She's living life, bro. Yeah.
She had her second kid like 3 years ago. I'm talking about since Takeoff's death. Her brother-in-law.
I'm sure there's a lot of stuff going on in the family.
I hope Cardi B is like one of those, like, I hate celebrities. I hate celebrity worship. But I hope Cardi B is doing all right. I don't think she ever did anything wrong to anybody that I can remember, at least.
She does not. Well, I don't care about the shit that she's done wrong, but she really don't deserve nothing wrong happening to her. She's a simple Bronx girl. We gotta let Bronx girls shine.
That's
honestly.
a fact.
Bronx girls are diamonds. They're not in the rough just because they live in Fordham. Okay, maybe Fordham's a little bit of the rough, but for different reasons. Not because it's hood. It's the hood. So like there's just shit happens. And
speaking of the Northeast in general, just again putting my feelers out there. I am trying to move back up to New York, New Jersey, somewhere in North Jersey. If anybody out there has feelers for a job and an apartment for under like $1,300 a month, let me know. Which, by the way, crazy that $1,300 a month gets you squalor in the Northeast, gets you a basement studio that was never meant to be lived in. Like that shit is disgusting. Let me tell you, I wish I understood inflation when I was like 18, because I would have just bought a house. I would have worked at my fucking supermarket job and bought a house right in Queens at 22 years old. I would have saved up for 4 years and did that. If I knew shit was gonna get this expensive, bro.
Yeah, but we would have fucking bought something during the housing drop.
I remember there was a newspaper article. 19? Do you remember a newspaper? I remember I saw a newspaper article one time about a $1,500 studio in St. Mark's when we were kids. $1,500 for a studio in St. Mark's could never happen now. It's like $3,000.
No, and
they're making
talked
room.
about this
Like, and it's crazy because they're like making up the numbers. Like the numbers don't. Do you know what I mean? Like the numbers don't make. Math. Like I saw some YouTuber the other day that
does not math.
Yeah, it was like a $8,000 Manhattan apartment, and like it was a really nice apartment for sure. It had like, you know, wall to ceiling windows, really high ceilings, and like, you know, and all the other cute amenities. But like, there's no way these, like, why do these wall to ceiling or floor to ceiling windows cost $8,000 a month in Manhattan when you can't even park anywhere? I don't think the building even had a parking garage. So like, what is that number going towards? Where it is, like, give me an itemized list of why that's $8,000. I understand why the shitty studio in North Jersey is $1,200, because some guy bought a house that he's upside down on. He had to rent out his basement. His mortgage is $5,000 a month. He doesn't have that, so he's trying to find it wherever he can. I get that, but the billionaire who made the building or bought the building or inherited the building in fucking Times Square, why does he need $8,000 to maintain this apartment?
It's because it's near the subway.
Bubble? Can I burst your bubble? It's not one person.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, it's like real estate
it's literally
groups and whatnot.
They're groups, and those groups have overhead that they have to cover, and the more overhead that they write, you know, they're not doing anything, right? Because they still hire the same super for fucking $36,000 and tell them to live for free in the fucking basement. Like, it hasn't changed. It's just the fact that it's these realty groups that bought up, and it's not many. I think it's like, I don't know, like maybe a couple dozen, like maybe a dozen. Like so yeah, it's just one group deciding all of it basically, and the ruling class deserves to be eaten. If that's anything that you get from the National Meat Treasure, is that the meat is the rich. Now eat them, because they're fatty and they're lazy and they really can't do shit. Even if they pretend that they stay up all night and day, we can kill them just by numbers.
We really got to like let people know that being rich is. I mean, but you know, this is. We've all been sold the American dream. That's what it is. The whole problem is that everyone thinks they can be rich. That's why they don't hate the rich. I remember this guy at my job. He got fired. Thank God. Well, not thank God, because he wasn't really too terrible of a guy. He was just a dumb redneck. But there was a guy at my job in my training class, and I remember him going. We were having something. Oh, why the? Oh, God. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my window and I can't tell if these bugs are on the inside of this window or the outside, but we'll deal with that problem later.
Hell,
they're like the first mosquitoes like the season, but I think they're on the outside. Yeah, because they would have flown in. They would have flown towards me. Anyways, he said we were having a conversation about Elon Musk one time, and he goes, you know, he earned his money. He deserves it. The nigga who inherited diamond mines? Emerald mines. No, he did not earn
green diamonds.
He didn't earn
What are you
shit.
talking about? He didn't even like invent Tesla. Like he just bought that company and then got on the internet. He didn't invent anything.
He literally had two brothers, a brother and a cousin, that were running a solar company, right? And that solar company was attached to him because he invested some of his money. That place turned into Tesla. Like that, it used to be called Solar City. Solar City was very popular, but they were crooked. There's a lot of stories because there was a lot of people with Solar City during the early development. So when he was an investor and he was trying to like, you know, basically create a way to kind of bridge the gap between solar and, you know, electric cars, right? You know, how can we, you know, sell a solar system and an electric car, and having somebody like power up their home and their car with renewable resources, right? It's breaking his head. But again, what the stories were is that he would spend like overnight in the warehouses, in his offices, right? And sleep on the floor, and then get mad at people being human and saying they'd have to go home, right? This is a billionaire. Many times over, with a safety net that is a billion times over, and he's upset that normal people have to go see their family, and because they can't have the dedication that he perceives as true ownership of what you do. That bullshit drives. Talk about something that triggers me. That whole like you have to own it, like suck my dick. I do not have to own every fucking aspect of it.
You know what it is?
Fuck you.
You know what it is, man? It's like we as a society, we have this like separatist, individualist society. So like I've talked about this before. Like living by yourself is not normal. And I take this from somebody like me who has lived by myself like on and off most of my life. It sucks. It's not fun to live like. I mean, like unless you're like really, and even, like it's good to live by yourself if you're like gainful and like have company. But for the most part, like it's not how humans should live, right? Maybe having kids isn't for you, but like having roommates should be fucking normal. But just being social in general should be normal. But when you have these people like Elon and fucking like Mark Zuckerberg who like these people talk and like they don't talk like normal humans, and some people think like, oh, they have something in their brain that's like so different than all of us. Yes, they do have something different in their brain. They should be dead. Like if Elon Musk did not have millions of dollars over tomorrow, he's dying. He's an incel on Reddit.
No,
like he's
literally
in some mother's basement in the suburbs. Like same with Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg was weird. He just got super rich. And by the way, there's millions of that kind of person that exists.
It's not like
this Mark Zuckerberg.
He was already rich. He just quantified that wealth. Like these are people with $1 million step ups. Like they're not people who like have to figure out how many loans they have to take out for a fucking university degree. Like it's like no. It's not about the mud. They were never there. Yeah. They don't even experience it. It fucking is like I don't think people understand that kind of wealth. And when you like like New York City is probably like the best example of brushing up with that kind of wealth, because when you bump into people that truly have like old money, fucking like real old money, they don't even understand humans. Like, it's fucking foreign to them. Bro, yeah. Like we've had some mutual friends, and because of their friends, you know, that, you know, these are people that are not from the mud, but we're like normal fucking teenagers, and we're hanging out with these kids with like Vanderbilt as their last name. Like that, they're like, and you think it's just like a white person name, and then you go like, oh no, like this is like the Vanderbilt.
The Vanderbilt.
Oh, you know what, you guys are like Rockefeller like shit. This is gross. Why am I hanging out with you? You know what it is? You guys suck.
Not enough people know about interest. That's what it is. You would be disgusted with money if people understood interest, right? Like, when you open a high yield savings account, you are typically getting like right now the interest rates are like 4.3 a year. So if you do the math, right? If somebody has $1 million, which Drake just spent on a chain, by the way, Drake, not Elon, not a Rockefeller, just some nigga from Canada, just spent $1 million on a chain. If he took that $1 million and put it in a high yield savings account that was earning 4.3% APY a year, or not per year, but whatever, he is now making your salary untaxed every single year. He's making about 40 grand every year just from doing nothing. So somebody who he just like that's like interest. Like, so when you say like, oh, he got out the mud, he invented something. No, if you have $1 million, you are now getting a pretty average salary every year from doing nothing.
The leap from $1 million to 10 million is eventual. I mean, no, the leap from $1 million to 10 million is a journey, and the leap from 10 to 100 is just inevitable. Like, it's just like the way that money can be used, right? Like, and if you back it up with just enough fucking logic, where it's like you're depositing this money into these banks, right? And you're giving it to them to play with and invest in shit. And so they fucking pay you back by paying you some kind of interest gain. Because the money doesn't really exist anymore. It's already in their account. A lot of places, if you try to withdraw it really quickly, you're going to get a fucking giant penalty. It's not designed for us. It's not designed for $2,000 in a fucking savings account. Like, it's you know, I hate to burst the bubble, but it's not. We're so vastly different.
You got to start a YouTube channel so you can at least start to climb the ranks of the riches,
the wealth. Yeah, and then become one myself.
A YouTube channel the other day. I was like, should I start a solo YouTube channel? And I was like, I have nothing to talk about, and I'm honestly way too on the internet as is. My internet footprint is honestly too large for a 36-year-old man. And what am I here for? What am I doing? That's right, guys. I'm here for you. You here, the fans of the National Meat Treasure. Find me a goddamn apartment or cash at me, TROPJ, because your boy is struggling. Your boy, you know what's worse than struggling? Minutes. Struggling and having this conversation every week about how evil capitalism is. Like, damn, that's the worst. It's like not only am I poor, but it's ultimately not even my fault I'm poor, but it also is my fault because it's a lot. It's a lot going on.
Because poverty's violence. Like, at the end of the day, like, it's just, and capitalism is violence. Like, it's ultra violence. Like, it has to exist. It doesn't exist in a vacuum of peace. Like, it can't, right? Because, like, it's the whole
nothing exists
equal and opposite reaction. Yeah, like, it doesn't, like, someone's pain has to equal happiness. Somebody's happiness has to equal somebody's pain. That phone that you love that gives you all that dopamine, it was a fucking 10-year-old that put it together. And
hey, I don't care about children. So
yeah, but you don't. But they're gonna be humans.
Dissonance is on point there, baby.
They're the ones who are gonna, unless you're launching yourself into the fields for the wolves, they're eventually the people who have to take care of your shitty body. So at least be okay with them not being complete psychopaths, because that's what would happen if we kept doing that. We need to really stop. We really need this.
I need more psychopathic children. Speaking of psychopathic children,
literally the GOP is just psychopathic children. Like, it's literally like, bro, like, we have one of the most evil people in Florida. Just fucking Florida up for me. Like, I have, like, every time I think about warm weather, my family goes Florida.
Man,
And what do I have to say?
fuck Florida.
I was like, but do you realize what's going on in there? Like, I know it doesn't really affect you that much right now, but it's kind of ass. Like, we don't need to be anywhere near that. Like the kids are. I'm sorry, Florida kids. Y'all are dumb.
You know what sucks too?
Like, you guys are getting the. You think public school systems in New York City suck? Public school systems in Florida are non-existent. It's like 80% charter schools. It's literally 80% charter schools.
Public schools in New York are worse only because, like, public schools in Florida still teach you shit. They're just also teaching you racism. They're more. It's more so the lack of things they're teaching you about, like, race equity. That's like they're hey,
no,
like
they're excluding books that are a part of like just like
in Florida, you get to dissect a fucking crocodile in middle school. We weren't dissecting
That's
shit. We didn't
not
get budget
true.
for that in Queens.
What
in
are
Queens,
you talking about?
Yeah, in Queens,
They
they
didn't
were
like you,
other
that's
races
why.
exist. They were like, other races exist, but you know what? I got
And
earth science three
you
times
get to
in high
cut
school.
this
Three
fetus.
times.
I got to cut up a pig fetus. Okay, bro.
Yeah, I dissected a rat.
Yeah,
I dissected a rat.
They like.
Whoa,
those.
you guys
They
are
like
fucking
those.
fancy because they didn't give
we
me
are.
that.
Yeah.
I went to a magnet school.
Well, I mean, you couldn't if you were in earth science for 3 years. You only got to play
Yeah,
with rocks.
it was supposed to be earth science, then biology, then chemistry, then physics, and they
Bars!
never gave me any of those.
Holy
So
shit!
you
bro,
would
that was
have done it in
bars.
biology. Was it bars? That wasn't bars.
No, I'm saying
That was
I
bars.
passed
You
earth
just
science
told him
every
he
time.
played with rocks for 3 years,
but
bro.
did you never get biology? Or did you?
No, they just kept giving me earth
Yeah.
science, and I kept passing it, and I just slipped through the cracks.
The biology kids, they were dissecting stuff.
Yeah,
I
and
think
you
I
get
got
cool with the
biology
teachers in my
maybe
school?
once. No, I did have biology 1 year, and I tried to fight the biology teacher because he failed me.
My science.
He failed me for no reason. He passed everybody in my group who copied off me, but because I was literally smarter than him, he failed me. This is what New York City school does. You have petty white boys who want to fucking fail you because they're weird. Like, I was a nerd in school. This nigga was a balding geek. And I would clown him for being a balding geek because he would say shit that was dumb. I can't like specifically remember because it was high school. But he would say, he would say some shit. No, he would say some shit that like I just saw on Bill Nye like 5 minutes prior, and I'd be like, no, that's wrong. It's actually this. And then he'd read the book and be like, oh, you should just do as you're told, whatever. So then like everyone then I got labeled as the smart kid.
He failed you because you didn't show up to class on that day. You were supposed to dissect a pig fetus, and now you're out here pushing the agenda that you didn't dissect shit. That's why he failed you. He knew.
Listen,
he was like, this one's gonna sell me out.
I would have loved to kill something for in the middle of class. I would have loved to have pulled some bits out of something in the middle of class.
You don't kill anything.
Jesus Christ.
And that's the problem with New York City schools, because in Florida, they take you out in the fucking bayou, you go crawfishing in the middle of your school day. All right, you're killing things all day.
Yeah, they just collect the crayfish from you. They collect the shit you get from the bayou and then sell it to your family. That's what happens in Florida. They're using you for free labor. That's what they're doing with your children. They're just going like, look, it's a work program. They get credit by staying in the cotton fields for eight hours a day. It's like, wait, what did you say? Why is my child picking tobacco for
the don't
7
say
hours
gay
straight?
shit is the really crazy shit. Like,
bro, the don't live
don't
there
say gay shit
is crazy.
is really wild. Like,
yo,
you know what's
he's
crazy about the
targeting everybody. He's really
Dude,
about
the straight agenda is crazy, bro. Because the thing is too, like, I'm
crazy.
deadass. It's crazy because, like, bro, here's my thing. I'm an ally. I date mainly bisexual women, and like, I don't even run into gay niggas that often, bro. Like, I really don't. Yeah. So, like, how are you this oppressed about it? If I'm not running into gay people that often, as a person who I go to clubs that play house music, and I don't run into gay people that often. So the fact that Ron DeSantis is super oppressed from like whatever fucking like golf club part of fucking Florida he's in is insane. Like, why are you obsessed with gay people? There's not that many, I promise you. And even if there was,
bro,
are you sucking their dicks?
With everybody. He's obsessed with everybody that literally doesn't look like him. Like, it's really weird. Like, he has targeted literally illegal citizens, specifically Mexican Americans and those that belong to Central America, by literally telling people that he would make it a federal crime and fine the business, X amount of money if undocumented workers were found. working. So literally like job sites. Like,
this is how I know.
Overnight. Like,
this is how I know there's no black elite. Remember they growing up, there was always like rumors that like Oprah and Jay-Z were like part of like this like black elitist group that like controlled the government. No, they don't. No, they don't.
What?
Also,
I never heard that shit. Black elites that control the government?
You didn't go to Hillcrest High School, that's why.
Who said that?
There was like a rumor. I mean, it was like obviously like urban legend, like nothing like real, but like it was like a rumor that like Obama, like Jay-Z was the reason Obama got elected and shit like that. Like that Oprah funded his whole campaign.
What the fuck?
Did you guys have like the conspiracy
really
kid
silly.
In high school? Like the kid who was always bringing up some crazy shit to you about like, you know
what's worse?
Something that happened?
Yeah.
I knew a conspiracy kid from the ages of like 22 to like 29. Like he was a grown man with this conspiracy shit. Love the X-Files.
No.
Also, he was white, which is so dumb. Like, why are you a conspiracy kid? You're literally white. Shut up. You are the conspiracy. The fact that you're here is a conspiracy.
You are the conspiracy. Literally, you are the conspiracy. Literally, you guys were conspirators, like, and got here, and y'all overrun the place. So, your co-conspirators.
I had a friend.
CRT.
I had a friend who I thought was like a conspiracy kid, and then I realized he was just really smart, and he just understood more. Like he just understood politics at a way earlier age. I was like, "Yo, he got mad conspiracies." No conspiracies
I'm talking
at all.
about real ones.
I'm
talking about real conspiracies. I remember, I'm going to give you like a really weird memory that just popped into my head because you brought up high school. And I had a girlfriend that I was dating, and her brother was like a few years older, so he was just like kind of cooler than us, you know? I was like 16, and I think he was like 20. And he had a car, and he was like, you know, attractive for his age, you know? He was just like, you know, a cool dude. I remember this clear as day for some reason. He's like, "Hey, Christian, you're really cool." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man." Like, I don't know why you're pointing it out, but thank you. Like, you know, I'm like really like when you're a young person, like at that age, you're like, "Wow, why does this person think I'm like special?" Like, and that's how grooming works. No, he handed me a pamphlet, literally like maybe a second later. And it was just about the Illuminati. He was like, "Here you go, bro. I want you, like, just read it. Tell me what you think." And it was a very weird interaction because I did read it, obviously. But it was just like, you know, it's like talking about all the imagery and all this shit. And I'm like, why did Mans have this in his, like, back pocket? Like, where did he go somewhere? This is like 2003, okay?
Dude.
Like, he went somewhere to collate and staple. Or someone handed it to him. I don't know where that is.
Dude, that shit, when people bring up demonic imagery, I'm so fucking annoyed, dog. Oh my god. When someone's like, "Oh, what's this represent?" Like that Lil Nas X video. First of all, let me tell you something. Here's the thing. First of all, if you gonna be like a person who thinks that like Lil Nas X is like demonic or whatever, stand on it and believe that for the rest of your life and make it like your cause in this world to bring down Lil Nas X. But the fact that I had to like read those tweets for 5 minutes just pissed me off. Cause like why tweet it? Go back to fucking your job at Amazon and fucking shut the fuck up. Like, when people talk about, and also people talk about demonic imagery as if, and like, it's not even like when they see devil imagery that pisses me off. It's the people who see like, they'll be like, "Oh, Obama wore a red tie at his inauguration. He's clearly a symbol of the devil." A red tie, dog?
Yeah.
Go back.
Remember that
work.
lady with the monster can? Remember that lady with the monster can? That shit was wild. You guys don't know about that? It was literally like the most Karen-looking woman you'll ever see, and we'll clip this because this is 3316, and you know this will work for the algorithm. There's a woman, and she's explaining how the monster can has satanic imagery linked to, and she's like pointing at the claw marks. You see that? What does that look like to you? I believe it's the claw marks, but guess what? This symbol is also like the Jewish symbol for Satan. And I'm like, where did this woman, she's got like a whole presentation. Like she put a binder together. Like I was a little mildly impressed, but like that's a lot of dedication, bro. Can you imagine like setting up a table and a whole like area? It's like where nobody wants you really at the end of the day.
I can't imagine that. That's a lot of work.
You break to buy like to buy a monster can and maybe dump it out, right? Because realistically, Like you're not gonna I'm not gonna let any young people get into this poison.
Also,
because Monster is tearing our youth.
I just feel like with something like that, it's just like, do you not realize the product is what's selling and not the imagery? Like, there's 30 different fucking energy drinks on the market right now.
Image. You're always buying image.
Yeah, okay, maybe you're buying image, but like, again, 30 different fucking energy drinks on the market. Like, if any of them are funding the devil, I think like you can do that without having demonic, quote unquote, demonic imagery. Like Celsius looks like a fucking beverage for like women's health.
Coca-Cola is definitely funding everyone's death. Like literally, there's like countries that literally have to ban Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola has to find ways.
I just
to
wish,
it in.
you know, there's always like times where I think of like I always think of
like they have.
I just always think of like I just always think of like, you know, when you think about like, oh, people were so dumb in like, you know, the 1300s when they thought, you know, the Earth was the center of the universe, or people were so dumb before we knew about gravity. People were so dumb for like using leeches to like thinking like leeches sucked out diseases. We're living in that era right now. Like there's like they're gonna like in the history books will report the people who are anti-vax. The history reports the people who are like anti-gay. Like Ron DeSantis will be in history books for all the wrong reasons. You can't fight progress.
Well, the thing is, though, his thing is that he's going to make sure there are no history books. so you don't got to worry about that shit.
It's no history books.
You don't got to worry about it.
It's the government of DeSantis under one rule. Bro, they
that nigga
are...
dumb.
I mean,
he's
like,
going for president, dude. He's announced that he's going for president.
We've known that. We've known that for years.
I mean, this whole thing.
The announcements about the announcements are so silly because these people have all been talking about it for years. But
he's gonna win too. That's the worst part. He's gonna win president.
I don't know, bro. There are other GOP challengers. It's gonna be a fun little. It's gonna be a fun little death match going on with those niggas. The crazy niggas.
Not fun for anybody black, gay,
honestly,
or non-Christian.
Can we be real? Like, there was nothing fun about Trump's presidency. And returning
God.
There's never been anything fun about life.
There was
ever.
No. Like, okay, listen, but no, I listen. I get it, right? Like, the nihilist to me is like everything doesn't change, right? Like, but reality was like I went to the voting booths, and this is like small town Pennsylvania, and dickheads would literally this is illegal. In every sense of the way, they would get in their vehicles with plastered pictures of Donald Trump and "Make America Great Again" flags and their fucking lifted fucking pickups and rev the truck all around the parking lot of a polling station. So like something that's like hyper illegal, and but these people cheered it on. Like I was in line with people who went, "Whoa, fuck yeah!" Like.
Out of pocket. Yo, you know what's really out of pocket too? In some states, they pass laws where like you can't hand out snacks or water to people online, bro. How petty? How petty is that, bro? You can't give people bottles of water while they stand online.
It's a little different because people were using the bottles to put like the last image in there. Use like, you know, vote for this dickhead, vote for this one, Prop 13. Like, you know, like it was literally a last ploy. Like they were using it, and I understand like avoiding the influence, but like think about like the intimidation tactic, right? Like even if you think it's like you trying to like I'm freedom, like it's just like there's people that might have been, you know, willing to vote in a certain way, and then they see that and they go like, wait, this is where I live. Like these people could kill me if they find out that I voted for something else. Literally, we had somebody yell out, which was like the most massively out of pocket thing I've ever had to experience in this place for no reason. Was we had our daughter with my son, and my daughter was maybe like a few months old at this point. And there was a neighbor we knew, and she was a little further ahead of us. This is like a fucking roped up line all the way around and all that. And she's like, "Oh, I would tell you to skip, but I know you're gonna vote for the other side." And we just looked at the bitch like, Yo, like for real, like you just like put a target on us with 2 kids. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, literally, we just.
She was
that was a neighbor.
If y'all gonna jump them, jump them.
Jump them. Remember that? Like, bro, like that was so fucking weird and evil. Like, honestly, like I don't think that's a like. There's no appropriate setting for that. Like, there's no like, like, no, bro, not like that. It's literally a political theater. Like, don't do that. Like, just chill out. Like, we're all on the line. If you don't want to give us your spot, just don't give us your spot. We didn't even ask you. We just said hello.
Dude.
After you said hello to us.
Dude, also, just back to Joey's thing about, like, life sucking. Life is awesome. I actually had a moment this weekend.
It really is.
I had a moment this weekend where I was like, damn, like, life is really cool. And I didn't have the moment this weekend, but I had it, like, when I got back. Because I didn't let myself absorb the weekend because I was too busy worried about the future and death and, you know, all the things in front of me. But like, live. I'm just gonna say, especially to the people, live in the moment. You know, live in the times now where I can't believe I'm saying this, but like, live in the times where Biden is president and it's not Ron DeSantis. You know, enjoy. Everybody, pause the podcast. Pause. Just take a moment to breathe. Excuse me, breathe in the gratefulness. Breathe in that your legs work, or maybe they don't. Maybe breathe in your family, whatever it is that you feel special about. Just breathe it in. Breathe in your girl, breathe in your clothing, breathe in your mind, whatever it is that you're feeling good about. Just absorb that right now. Because like I said, I was having a really beautiful weekend, and it didn't really dawn on me how beautiful it was until it was already over. And I was just like, damn, I wrote it on my whiteboard to love life. And even if Ron DeSantis is president, I will take my time and absorb the few moments I have out of prison, because I'm sure he'll get all us Negroes and Browns locked up, just like we're chinks in the Vietnam.
Locked up. Yeah.
Also,
no,
is chink still offensive?
Really quickly.
Has chinks... so
that's never not been offensive.
No, because here's my thing. I feel like some slurs, or like just any kind of offensive term, like it gets to a point where it's comedy because it's been around for so long. You know what I mean? Like, nobody takes you serious if you say like chicks or broads. You know what I mean? You're just like a weirdo. Like, no one's super offended by that. They're just like, that's just a weird thing to say.
People don't like that.
So
people do not like, or like
that,
especially in the professional world. Say chicks. Say chicks to a woman in a professional setting. She's gonna light you the fuck up every time.
That's true. Okay, broad though. If I say broad, like, people are just looking at me like,
no, you can't. Yo,
why are you talking
broad
about? People are not offended by broad. They're just gonna be like, why are you talking like a 1920s mobster?
Yeah,
they're literally gonna fire you. They're literally gonna fire you within minutes.
Prohibition. I don't think they would fire me. I think they would argue about if I should be fired based on performance. I'm not gonna test it out.
You get a pip in 5 minutes. You get a pip in 5 minutes.
I don't think I'll be fired. But chicks, I would get a chicks. I'm fired. Whore, I'm fired. Dame. I don't think I'm getting even verbal. I'm not gonna even get a verbal for Dame.
Okay, so Dame isn't really like never really I don't think Dame was like, even if Dame was in a way where like, wow, look at those dames, like you're talking about a group of women. I don't think it's ever been like wholeheartedly offensive. Like, chicks, there's a reason for it, because people have always used it to lower women's status in ways.
All right.
You know, girls to women. You know.
Let's throw it super back, right? Let's throw it super back. If I throw you the finger,
wenches,
I'm fired. You're fighting me. If I bite my thumb at you like Shakespearean times, nobody even knows what I'm doing. What is that?
Context.
Why?
That's context.
I mean, I never knew that.
That's 1300 Shakespeare.
Wait, you didn't know that?
So at some point,
you do this, and that's
exactly,
like a fuck you.
Oh, I remember that. I remember seeing this.
Yeah, you have to do that. It's a, and you spit at the same time. Yeah,
that's a lot of work.
My Shakespearean mind, which I did.
Most people wouldn't even know what that means at this point or another. And honestly, even the finger is like, the finger was like really offensive in the 90s, whereas now it's like, it's offensive, but like, I'm looking at you like you're dumb. I never saw the super fire. Also, why are your index and middle finger the same size?
I don't know a lot of people who are gonna get the finger, you know, flipped at them and then just look at them like they're dumb, because that would get someone upset.
The finger is still
universal.
offensive, but it's trashy. You know what I mean? Like
It's
you're.
international. though.
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like it's not like the first thing a person with all the facilities together would throw at you. A regular person would just say, "Yo, fuck you." You know what I mean? Like, but to throw the finger is like very like redneck. It's very low class. It's low brow. But like in the '90s, everyone was throwing the finger, and it was like
That was because of Stone Cold. Like only because of Stone Cold. You know that's the only reason why people use the middle finger more.
And I feel like are Gen Zers throwing the finger? No.
No,
It's
no,
gone for
because there's
them.
no Stone Cold. There's no Stone Cold. There's no Stone Cold. Like, you know what it is? Stone Cold is not doing that. If we had angry redneck Stone Cold, how we used to have him, like just throwing the finger, this generation
what?
right now would be throwing up the finger. But they're not doing it because no one's like, Cardi B's not throwing up the finger and like stunning somebody, even though that would be way more entertaining than anything else on TV right now. That I would pay for that. To see her just stun people like every episode.
I feel like the last time I feel like the middle finger. So all right, there's two middle fingers, right? There's for in the YouTube, jump in the YouTube. There's the whole hand straight up, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that is more of like a redneck thing. Whereas if you bend the wrist, that's more of like a drill nigga thing. You know what I mean? Like it's like a 19-year-old drill rapper. Like, you know, he's got, and you have to have two up at once. You can't just have one.
Yeah, you can't. You gotta put him up.
You know what I mean? He turns him upside down while he's got his chains on.
Wow, look at you breaking down cultural like phenomenons. Like what? Like
I watched it evolve. You know what I mean? I'm 36 years old this month. I watched it evolve. I watched it become what it is. But like I said, in the 90s, you could be like a middle class, upper middle class, even white man, throw the finger, and you were valid. You know what I mean? It wasn't. Now
Very
it's
valid.
it's kind of lost its
Fuck
flavor.
you, Kyle.
What's another one that's like gone out of style? It's
Sit
like,
on
it's
it.
like cursing.
Remember when they would say
Sit
something
on
like
it,
that?
dude.
Like
Sit on it. Gone.
Gone
Sit on it.
forever. Okay,
Suck it and sit on it are gone. I don't think anyone's using those.
Suck it. I feel like is still in the lexicon, but spin on it is crazy. Like, you know, like can you imagine like somebody suggesting mustache rides also? Way out of pocket today. But that shit was on T-shirts in 2002. Like people were wearing that shit. But 2023, out of pocket. If anybody says it, free mustache rides.
You know what's coming back, which is so weird to me? Like slogan shirts. Like slogan, like all right. So do you remember like going into the mall and there'd be like a kiosk of T-shirts that would say like, "Fuck," like what? I'm trying to think of one like.
The crazy people in my head.
Like the one that had like the arrow pointing up and it said like the man and that the down arrow would say the legend. Like that that look is now vintage. That's a vintage look now. So you'll see kids in LA with shirts like that cropped.
You know what that is? That's that boardwalk wear. That's what that is. You know, any boardwalk that you've ever been across America, that is exactly what you'll find.
Yeah, boardwalk.
It'll be the fully blooded Italian T-shirts. It'll be the full body inspector T-shirts. It'll be the the NYPD, but like there's like titties in it. Like it is. Dude. It is epic. Those shirts are epic, honestly,
dude,
bro.
It's so insane that like
the wolves
dude, it's so insane that shit that we were doing. Like the internet's so weird because it's like shit that we were doing and the ways we were dressing not even 15 years ago are vintage now. Like when we were 21.
It's not the internet. It's just people.
It's the internet that did it. No, but like the cycles are usually no. If you look up cycles of what is and isn't vintage, it's usually a 30-year cycle. So the shit our parents was doing when we were born should be what we're doing now. But no, it's what we were doing when we were 20. That is now a 22.
In the 90s,
is now like vintage. Like Slipknot is vintage. Slipknot 70s? Is like a vintage band now, and they're still alive and playing shows. They're only 5 albums deep. Like they're vintage to like kids who are 20. Like that's fucking weird.
Bro, they've been around for like almost 30 years. That's a little vintage for a band. Like,
no, their first album was when no, they haven't been around for 30 years. How old do you think Slipknot is, dog? They came around when we were 15. That was 20 years ago. That's what I'm saying. The cycle is 30 years, 30 plus years for vintage shit
did not
before
come out in
our
2003.
generation. Yes, they did.
Slipknot
Look it
was
up.
out in 90.
You're gonna tell me, bro? I listen to Slipknot every day. Please look it up. Okay. Please look up when Slipknot's self-titled album first came out, Volume 1.
What?
It was 2002. And that's, again, not a 30-year cycle. That's a 20-year cycle. That's a decade off the cycle.
Are you ready? I was right. 1995 is when the band was created.
No, when it was created. When did their first demo? When did Slipknot Slipknot self-titled come out?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
first-
that like that's
That
not.
no,
that's
you didn't
not
know
what
when
we're
it was
talking
created. Doesn't matter because you didn't know about them when they were created. Nobody knew about
Yes,
them
I
when they were
did.
created.
1995 and 98.
You didn't know about them. You were 7.
At
dog.
98.
You were 8
I was
years
98.
old.
I was listening to Mate Feed Kill Repeat. I promise you.
You were not listening to
98.
Maybe You Feel Repeat. Please, no, please don't. Please don't do this to yourself.
Before,
please don't be that guy, bro.
Because
Please don't be
I
that guy
was
that said,
in
I was listening to Slipknot
the
since the demo
library
days.
with
No, the fuck you weren't, because nobody was.
You want to know why?
Was.
I'll tell you my
Nobody was. And
my
you know
porness.
what?
I'll tell you my porness. I'll tell you my porness, and I'll tell you how I did it. How I did it in 1998, 99, whatever year I discovered Mate Feed Kill Repeat. And in the same way I did everything, I was in the fucking library and I was renting the free CDs from the library that nobody wanted. The Marilyn Mansons, the 9 Inch Nails, the fucking Blind Melons, the fucking,
All right,
Biohazard.
Even if I give you that, let's just move past it. Even if I give you 1998, again, that is still not a 30-year cycle. That is still like 27 years. That's still almost a decade off the cycle, is what I was saying. The cycle of vintage, bro. Like, it got cut short. It got cut short, which means that shit we're doing right now will be, well, not would be that us. It's kind of weird because, like, I feel like Gen Z is not really doing like a lot of new. Oh no, Pooh Shiesties will be vintage in 15 years. That's crazy. The Shiesty mask will be a vintage look in 2036.
What about those red boots?
10 years.
You think the red boots come back? The red boots come back?
Yeah, the red
years
boots
from
are
now?
coming back in 2030. Honestly, the red boots can't go.
I have a question.
I haven't gotten them yet. I want them.
I have a question. Since this whole discussion has been based off of the cycle of vintage, is that just your definition? Like 30 years? Under 30 years is just not vintage?
I mean, you could like look it up in your fashion lookups. Like usually the cycles of like when styles come back around. I'll give you a prime example, right? 70s was bell bottoms, and then flare jeans were like late 90s, early 2000s, right? When we were in high school. Perfect circle. 70 to 1999. Or 2001 rather, because that was like when that was when I started high school. So like the bell bottoms
Bell bottom was
came back, or the flares rather. Flares came back. Was bell bottoms first, exaggerated bell bottoms in the 70s, and then it came 30 years
the
to
tight
like
flare,
flares.
the hip hugger. Yeah.
Exactly, and like those cycles happen like.
That was a game changer. When you started seeing the thong
It's usually
pop
like
out,
30 plus years the cycles come out. So it's crazy that like ours is about 20, even less than that. Again, like people are wearing band shirts that are like vintage. But those bands still exist and play shows. It's weird. Those bands are not retired.
That's the crazy
Korn
thing.
is not retired. Manson's not retired. Well, Manson's kind of retired, but he's not retired. He's canceled, really.
Yeah, he's a different kind of retired.
Which fucking sucks.
All over the place, bro. It's all over the place.
Man,
with
fuck that
man.
nigga, bro.
I have no idea what to say. No, honestly,
Manson was my awakening in a lot of different ways,
Yeah,
bro. Like
I loved a lot of his music too, but like he's a piece of shit. I'll still listen to
want
this
to
shit.
make out with a guy on top of like a road case also. Because that was like the first like burning image in my head was seeing Marilyn Manson make out with his guitarist on a fucking like case, and I was like, "What's going on? What am I watching? This doesn't make sense." Because like what?
Why
like,
is my penis
in
in
that
my
time? What is my cock hard? This is weird. I shouldn't. He looks like a lady. Also, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, him having breast in Dope Show really that sucked me in.
That
was like my awakening. I was just like, this is because my thing is like, I feel like for me, and it's kind of true. I mean, but like even now, most things bore me. Like most things do not excite me. But like at first I thought like there was something wrong with me, or like maybe I did too much Molly, my dopamine receptors are fried or something. But like I really like thought about like my upbringing. And like I remember like my family, they weren't bad people, but like I feel like nothing like they did excited me. Like their music didn't excite me. Like I mean, I like my mom's Barry White and shit, but like it didn't like grit me, you know, like church didn't grit. Like I'm in church falling asleep. Like I'm 9 years old falling asleep. You know, the once a month we did church, or once every other month, because, you know, we were holiday Christians. And like I'm just falling asleep. This thing is talking about the birth of the universe and our savior and the death of Jesus. I'm knocked out. I'm asleep every weekend. Like nothing really awoken anything in me. And when I saw Manson with titties, I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know what the fuck is happening. But this nigga is younger than the motherfuckers raising me. So clearly there's a lot out there in this world that I need to explore. And you know, as I get older, the things I want to explore in this world are just like weird dark art and dark music and just alternative lifestyles. And that's why I'm a supporter of the LGBTQ, and I think about capitalism, and I don't think Elon Musk quote unquote earned it. You know what I mean? But I just feel like, you know, like Link, Dark Elves, I just feel like, you know, my awakening as a person was Manson. And like that's kind of like my litmus test too. When people are
Link? In Legend of Zelda?
I don't know why I said Link. This my final white claw is kind of hitting.
You said Link, and you said a Link into the Past. Yo, bro, what are you on? Yo, that was subconscious.
It's the white claw, bro. It's
like
the white
threading.
claw.
That's crazy.
You know what's fucking annoying too?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
First of all, I'm annoyed that like I just said I was gonna stop drinking these because it kind of just made me tired and give me a headache. And now I have a perfect buzz drinking this. I just drank this exact thing, this exact flavor 2 days ago. No, like a week ago. And I was like, this is just...
Nah, baby.
You know what's crazy? I ate a shitload today, so I shouldn't even be buzzed. It shouldn't have had me at all. I ate terribly today. I ate so many cookies and candies and fucking bullshit today. Because I just didn't feel like... I didn't cook last night. I just was at the whims of the snack machine all day. So I should not be buzzed off this shit. But yeah, like I said, it's just interesting that the cycle of vintage is so swift now. So it's like like I said, like our kids, your kid will be like 15 wearing a shiesty, even though it's in style right now. Your kid will be like 7 years from now, just
and
like
it'll be throwback. That'd be crazy, right? And
like, yo, Dad, have you heard this old artist named Chef G? Oh my God, this guy, Little Baby, like you don't even know, you even never heard of this stuff, Dad. This is old school. This is in the vault.
What you know
crazy,
about that, Daddy?
And it's crazy that we're still so young. Like we're still very young.
But yet old, and that's the existential dread that we exist in. Yeah, like
I don't feel old yet. I feel old in that like I've missed out on some things that I feel old in the sense of like I should have owned a house for 5 years, but like spiritually, I feel pretty young still.
You know why I feel old is because when I look at like a celebrity or somebody who's like on top of the world right now, and then I'm like, oh, like that makes sense. They're like in their 30s and they're like 22 or like 21.
Timothy Chalamet.
Like, oh, I'm old. Why do I think that I look like this young person? I don't look like this young person at all. And then I see people who are my age,
be fair,
and I'm
you've
like
never looked
focused
young.
on their crow's feet. Like there's this. Okay, listen, I have a youthful face. I have not aged a day since you met me. Do not lie.
You've looked a solid 30 since you were 19. You've never looked young. Like you've never looked like a kid. There was never a point. Like there's never a photo I've seen of you where I was like, that is a child. Like there's pictures of me where I look like a kid. I have no facial hair. You've always looked like a man. Like you've just
I had a chin strap when we met. That was not a man. That was Abraham Lincoln impersonator. Like those.
Yeah, but you were like bigger when we were younger. Like you were bigger. Yeah. You always dressed in like fucking like tracksuits and like bubble vest. Like you never dressed like a young person.
I had
You've
jeans
always been
and a
at
bubble
least
vest.
32.
Jeans and a bubble vest. Bro, that was the style back in 2006, bro.
People with a fitted.
Bro, I had a fitted. Bro, it was New York hardcore and the shitty metalcore scene, and the fat dudes who needed to look cool, so they wore their fucking North Face. But I didn't have money for North Face bubble vests, so I went ahead and got like
a Kangol.
I didn't have that. I didn't have that. I went to whatever your local deals, your D5, your D2, whatever it is, that shitty little store. I went to that store.
No, I need you.
And
I need
picked
you
it
to
up.
make like your most youthful picture in your like any picture of you at 18. I need you to make it the cover for the fucking episode because you let the people decide. You do not look young. You never have looked like a kid. You look younger now than when you were 18. Like literally.
I wish that was true.
That is very true. You just posted a throwback picture in Taco Bell in Union Square, and I was like, "Who's that? Is that Christian's dad?" I was like, "Oh no, that's him 20 years ago."
Oh, my dad was wearing a fitted and a fucking okay, that would be crazy.
I love how you're acting like nobody under 30 ever wore fitted. The fitted is a classic New York look for all ages.
People still wear it.
Does that help you look more youthful?
Not at my father's age. My dad was born in the 60s. You think I want to see my dad in a fitted? I'd be mad embarrassed. I'm sorry. If your dad, I know there's a lot of block dads out there, but like when you met like the real block dad and he was wearing a fitted and he's like, "Hey, yo," like, you know, he's pounding everybody up and he's got like a Coors in his like brown bag. Like there's nothing that made me feel go like, "Wow, that's who I want to grow up to be." Like
Is that why you left New York? Because that's every person in New York over the age of 50.
Bro, like
right?
Oh god. With the baggy
that's everyone who's
shorts,
ever left Rikers Island.
Damn.
That's everyone who's ever left Rikers Island.
No, thank you. I don't need that experience anymore. Yeah, I'm good. See, but
I'm dying for that experience, which is why I'm trying to move closer to the city. I'm dying for it. I want to be in the Bronx every weekend at least.
Facts.
Yeah, until you get stabbed. And then you're like,
I'm fine with it. Bro, I live in Detroit. Do you think I won't get stabbed here? I can get shot tomorrow. Although I did have a very
It's gonna happen.
I did have a very.
And then it's gonna piss you off.
No, I'll die in New York. It's fine. I don't want to die in Detroit. I don't want to die in Pennsylvania. I'll die. I'll die where I belong.
Definitely not.
But I did have a very wholesome Detroit moment just now. Before this pod, I went for a jog. Right. So what I do is there's Canada is right there. Right. You can see Canada from my apartment, and there's a river that separates, obviously, Canada and Detroit. So usually I warm up by walking to the river walk, which is about 4 blocks away, and then I jog along the river. So I'm walking, and before I get to the river walk, I see a shitload of black people just kind of jogging along, and I'm like, I wonder where they're going. And then some woman in like the jog, she like waves at me, and she's like, "Come with us," and I'm like, okay. So I'm just jogging alongside this black woman, and I'm like, what are we running from? And she's like, no, this is the Run 313. We run every Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I'm like, cool, I'll fucking join it. So I'm just jogging with these people, and they get to like the end of the block, and like I guess they've been jogging for a while, so they're kind of winded. And all the people at the end of the jog have like their hands out, and they're like slapping me high fives, and I'm like, yeah. Even though I've only been on this jog with them for about 6 minutes, but I'm like, yeah, I'm just high fiving them, and then I just kept along my jog as they all stopped. But that's a wholesome little Detroit moment.
I like that. You know what? That's what I.
Shout out to Run 313.
Run 313, shout out to you. I hope you had a good day. I hope you had a good event. Keep doing it every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yo, if we gotta do a little free promotion. But I gotta say, why does every old head like have to like put the hat backwards immediately? The fitted backwards is crazy to me. Like,
because it looks stupid
MLB
forward.
Logo. It's just like, no, it does not, bro.
You
like
think, a hat looks better backwards?
Sometimes, depending on the shape of the brim anymore. And the head.
The thing is, I don't need a flat brim anymore. I need a curved brim, and then you look like a human. Bro, I'm sorry, but like this, I'm wearing this as a gag, okay? Like we're not doing this, bro. I got like.
What's your favorite hat? We talked about cowboy hats last week, but like, what is your favorite hat to wear? I think my answer's pretty obvious.
Unstructured dad cap.
I love a good beanie, especially a silk-lined beanie for my hair.
Oh yeah,
I just
silk-lined beanie.
Classic.
That is classic Sasha. That's classic Sasha. But an unconstructed dad hat is my favorite. It fits my head perfectly. My head is shaped perfectly for those kind of hats. Like it's not like too pointed. It's rounded. I look nice, and I could rock it. I could rock a hat, bro. I know that there's a lot of things in the world I can't do, but I can rock a hat. Thank God has blessed me with that, because there's not a lot of people who rock with hats. Like, look, this whole podcast, hat friendly, but there's some other ones out there, bro.
I'm actually not that hat friendly. I don't look
But
good
you look
in
good.
in
You still
all
look
in all
cool.
hats.
You still you had it forward. And you look nice.
Like see, like I don't wear fitteds anymore. Like I have this, but I won't wear this because I feel like I look dumb in it. But I will do a trucker hat, and I don't like trucker hats, but they fit me the best.
That's kind of crazy.
And sometimes a simple snapback I'll do, but also I don't really wear hats a lot.
Snapbacks are tired. Sniper. Well,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm not big on
hats.
I think I might try the cowboy hat thing if I can find one, a black leather one.
You don't need to do that.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Do that in the
Don't do
goggles,
that, bro.
bro.
Don't
Do that
do
in
that.
the goggles. Bro, do that in the goggles, and you'll look like every unlockable player in every snowboarding game.
No,
you're like,
ski goggles and a cowboy hat.
Tiberius.
I look like
You just
Look like a Fortnite character.
If I wear
Just
ski
move
goggles
around
and
like
a fucking
this.
cowboy hat with like this tank top, I will look like a Fortnite character designed by a 6-year-old.
Yeah, you will. Oh
Yo,
man,
why is that
I
not
am
cool?
that
Look at your
6-year-old.
muscles. You're literally
yeah, man.
like a
I want to play
superhero,
Tony
so
Hawk
do
Pro
that.
Skater. That would be dope.
Do I even have muscles?
Can we talk about like okay, so we're gonna end on this note because this is a happy note, and I want the podcast always end on a happy note. But the Tony Hawk era of PlayStation 2, we will never get that time back. You realize that, boys, right? That was the night. That was the best. Like everything else was shit in my life, but that little pocket. That little pocket of happiness exists. Bro, Tony Hawk Underground, when I'm playing that and I'm losing my mind, I'm like, oh, look at me doing like a fucking Nautilus spin and look, Bam Margera. Like, this was great, but my, R.I.P. My mom's getting ragdolled and like this isn't a good situation, but thank
What
God
the
I have
fuck,
thug.
bro?
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Nothing was good. Life was not good, but thank God for Tony Hawk. Because Tony Hawk has lifted me and many other kids out of their shitty spirits.
Some shit.
Yo, you just go like, well, I gotta ignore this.
I gotta say, bro, I've been meaning to say this. I'm sorry to let down the counterculture, but I did not own Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I only ever played the demos. It did not have the same cultural impact on me as everyone else.
Damn, man.
I just never, people I've seen. So even yesterday, actually, I saw a TikTok of a guy basically saying he got his entire personality from the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 soundtrack. I was not on that wave. Right. I didn't own it. I played the demos.
What about
played
Dave
the
Mirra?
Demos.
What about Dave Mirra Pro BMX?
Didn't even know Pro BMX was a thing until I was like 20. I swear.
Dave
I was
Mirra Pro
already an adult.
BMX. Hard.
I did skateboard in real life. I did listen to heavy music and punk music in real life. I did go to shows in real life, but as far as Tony Hawk Pro Skater, that cultural moment, it missed me. I'm sorry.
It was all the same shit.
I could do better.
It was all the same shit.
Much,
like
it was just
the
different
stuff,
entryways.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it was.
You know what it is?
That's why I think him
older,
as a person, not the game, but I think him because like his existence somehow like opened up a lot of like entryways for people, like whether it was music or it was like the sport or it was the fashion or the photography. Like it literally opened up shit that people never thought about, in my opinion. Like when you're looking at something as simple as like a playlist and just a vibe, it's just like cool. Like like Tony Hawk did that, Dave Mirra did that, R.I.P. That was crazy. Like like seeing dudes just like, I mean, like you're playing somebody and then you're flying in the air. So I get that, but even if you were just like on the other end, like you doing the sport, like that shit was ill, and that was because of dudes like him, like literally doing like. Do you remember like the moment when he did that 450 spin or whatever it was, or like him, like I think it was right up against like Andy McDonald. So like I do, because like X Games was like a big thing when I was a kid, and like it was literally like all over TV, and then you see a human just like spin in like multiple revolutions, and you're like, what the fuck?
You mean when he did the 900?
Whatever it is, a 900,
2.5,
yeah,
2.5 spins.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Like he. Like try to do most people try to do an ollie and lose their lives. Like you can do like
I would love to know what you're ollieing over to have lost your life, like a volcano.
Yo, man,
There's
you
a
see
lot of
it. Somebody
reasons
steps on a
to eat
board,
shit.
they try to clink, they hit a rock or a
Yo,
little
bro,
crack.
you in New York City? A hydrant? Bro, that hydrant hit is the one that you go home with. Like,
I never
that's the one.
experienced that.
Bro, I swear to God, you ever get hit so hard by something, like you ever fall so hard that you just end the day? Like, you just like, all right, good. Like, we're good.
That's
we're
that.
good. That's that. Like, I remember one time I'm riding a bike over the Pulaski Bridge, and so if you don't understand this is the bridge between Brooklyn and Queens. So I'm like booking it, right? There's tons of cars merging. Somehow I think my the food I had in like this little makeshift basket that I had, there was a can in it, hits one of the spokes, because the bag bottoms out. I literally, my whole wheel just goes crazy. There's fucking Arizona can in there, and I literally skid and just had like asphalt dug into my hand. Like, I was literally had like little like pieces of asphalt, and I'm just like shaking. I'm like, oh, I'm not dead. I should really get up. Like, that's the most embarrassing thing. Like, when you don't die and you got to get up and move. Like, that's gonna be like that's gonna be the worst part, right? Like if you die in that moment, then like whatever, right? Like, but you got to die and get up. Like when people get out of the car in an accident, it's just like, nah, bro, just sit there. Don't do it. Don't move unless you got to check on somebody. Don't do anything. Just chill. I should have laid on that floor. It should be like,
just laid on the floor and never had children. Just rotted right there. Just went back to the asphalt, back to the soil.
I literally was just like, I'm going home. I'm done. Like, there's like, I think I had somebody that was like calling up, and I was like, nah, we're not doing any of that.
So with that being said, are you taking up skateboarding?
No, we've talked about this. I can't listen. I know you guys you're like, oh yeah, this is a much more exciting way to get to that, which I agree, but the fallout is crazy. My wife's brother-in-law, he did ATV jumps and shit, like full on motocross dunes and whatnot, and he broke his back.
Oh my God!
Like, he broke his back at 30 something, late 30s.
Damn.
That shit like hurt his family. Like, he was like, what the fuck am I gonna, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm literally going to run my family dry of financial financial ruin because I can't get to work. It costs a lot of money to be like this. Bro, the impact on shit like that is crazy. So I'm not getting my ACL torn because I was like, look at me on the beginning slope at Camelback Mountain or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do tubing like everyone else, and hopefully I don't die.
I mean, I feel like our generation is safer.
I could not figure out how to stop on a snowboard. It was so hard, bro.
Yeah,
I would just be
I get it.
Fall right over.
Just
what
turn
else
sideways.
That's what they say, and I would try, and it would not work.
I'm sure you're like, oh, just turn sideways. What are you guys talking about?
I want to try snowboarding goofy, since it's like skateboarding backwards.
Disney is
because you move with your back foot instead of your front. So that's something I want to try. But I haven't had a chance.
You don't got kids, do it. Take up skateboarding. You know, our parents' generation, they were having midlife crises and fucking buying motorcycles. So my grandfather bought a Porsche during his midlife crisis. Keep in mind, my grandfather was 6'3". Why are you can't fit in a Porsche?
No.
Is it a crisis?
Is he?
Or
is
it
he
just
6'3"?
achieving
Maybe he was
freedom?
taller when I was a kid.
It's a little bit of a crisis when it affects things around you, and it does. Like somebody who's buying a very expensive, hobby. They're not doing it at the expense of just I can do this. Like they're doing it because it's in spite of a few things, whether that's just finances or just a person or because
I'm glad I've avoided the midlife crisis by making it my entire personality since I was 20.
You're also not middle aged. You're not middle aged. It doesn't apply to none of us.
No. Okay, first of all, I'm 36. So yeah,
still not middle aged. That's not middle aged.
I will be dead at 71.
That's still not. It doesn't count. That just doesn't count.
I will not be alive at 71. I'm dead for sure.
Nigga,
That's crazy. You're right.
Nigga, you don't get a
honestly.
midlife crisis at 36.
What is the quality of life I'm getting after? Listen, if I'm open
I
to
feel like you're
to
clapping
being wrong
cheeks
here,
at 80.
No.
At
for
80,
sure.
You're clapping dusty cheeks, but you're clapping
dusty cheeks.
I feel like I'm gonna have some dick to give in me in my 70s. I just don't think the rest of me is gonna want to really do it.
I heard that so wrong. I thought they dick into me at that age, and I was like,
that'll be my midlife crisis when I start fucking men for my youth, fucking tight twinks, tight 20-year-old twinks. That'll be my play at youth when I'm.
You're just gonna start sending pictures of you nutting on men's faces,
I'm just dragging my leathery balls across the chest of some lacrosse player.
That's very specific.
My hot leathery 4-foot balls. I'm just swinging my dangly beef. My dilapidated cock over the face of some slim Latino.
We're gonna wrap it up because bro, that shit's crazy. 4 feet of nuts is crazy.
This nigga got a crush on a college sophomore
lacrosse
player.
I'm riding my motorcycle with my. I'm riding my motorcycle at 76 years old with my fucking calcified balls dragging the road.
What are you doing? Are you like a dog? Are you eating shitty food? Why are your nuts calcified?
They've been dragged in the concrete for so long. They've developed a second skin.
You should be dead. Oh, that's disgusting. We're done. This is the National Meat Treasure. We'll drop. No, we're done. I can't do it. 4-year-old.
They're like a mace. They've got spikes on them. Y'all actually want me to live. This is how I'm living. I told y'all I'm dead. Y'all want me to live? This is how I'm living. All right?
Nah, I was just saying that even if you die at 70, you don't get a midlife crisis at 36. Even if that ends up being the halfway point of your life, it's not the concept.
That is when midlife crisis is supposed to happen.
State of mind.
36? No way, nigga.
If you look it up, no. Because hear me out. When you look up midlife, first of all, it's in your 30s, mid 30s to mid 40s, and that's when it happens.
Well, I mean, what happened in the Middle Ages when people didn't get to age 40, and it was just
midlife crisis weren't a thing. It was just called being dead. The midlife crisis is a phenomenon of the 40s and beyond, or the 50s. It was when dudes didn't have their dreams of being they didn't live their dreams of being greasers. They had kids when they were 21 with Becky Ann, who was getting nasty under the bleachers.
They had kids at 16. And 17. Remember when I was with Ma back at the county fair and I impregnated
They got
her?
their high school sweethearts pregnant and they're like, damn, Dorothy? I didn't do enough with my life. I've been a slut who's jacked my whole life. So really my whole personality has just been culminating to the midlife crisis. I have no regrets. Just fucking guns, bro. Guns
okay, we're
I'm
done.
Gonna choke out a twink with.
Okay. That's an invitation to everyone out there.
I have my Marilyn Manson prosthetic breasts. My Marilyn Manson prosthetic breast.
His twink
you don't want me to live. You don't want me to live because I will live decadent, and
I never said that. I want you to know that I've never said that. I totally envision you kind of living your life like Xerxes, covered in gold, half naked, having people carry you places. But not the impoverished. You pay them really well. They're just kind of this guy's nice. Thanks for the $200K a year. And you're no. But you're definitely
for the 4 niggas who carry my chair around.
yeah, exactly. You're an opulence. They get to rock too, though. They get to rock too. That's the bonus of the job. They don't got to do it all day. They let you.
So it's a pyramid.
You be searching.
So I'm paying these 4 guys so well that each of them have 4 guys that they carry around. So really, there's 16 niggas holding me up in a pyramid style. Wait, is that math right? 4 times 5, 20 niggas. There you go.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's like it's a baker's dozen. Okay, guys. No. I mean, like for real though, that would be ill. I mean, Xerxes, live that life. That's what I envision you to live that life. I be the king of the Ottoman Empire. That's what I say. Be the king, Xerxes.
Fuck the Turks though.
I mean, literally fuck the Turks. Like, literally fuck the Turks. If you're Xerxes,
twink boy.
Yeah. Why are you not gonna get like some fuck? Let's not use boy. It's problematic. But let's use young androgynous male. Just
my small twink
David
child
Bowie.
Lover. My small child twink lover.
What's that? Please, we can't. We're not even out the gate, bro. Like we don't got enough views to like for you to be saying crazy shit like that. Because like then we're never gonna go anywhere.
My sweet, delicate man boy child lover of German Turkish descent.
Bro, I've known people like that, like for real, living that life. I worked for a guy that lived in the West Village. So just to circle this whole thing and end the episode. And man's lived in the West Village, paid $5,000 to live in a 1-bedroom, right, with an exposed brick wall in the living room, right, if you could call it a living room. The kitchen was so fucking small, you literally, like, no one could turn sideways. Like, you had to kind of, like, do this, the whole kitchen. And it was connected to the bathroom.
Disgusting.
His husband was literally what you just described. A little effeminate Asian man. And he was just like, he looked very, I guess, juvenile, and he loved it. And my old boss was this giant bear that worked out all day and had literally, talk about comments. I think about the thirst comments that are left on yours. But the thirst comments that people used to leave on his page, like they were doing it on Facebook. They didn't care about nothing. Like everything was off. Like they was just like, "Daddy, your back is so wide," which I had never heard at that point. This is like 2013. My brain had never like processed somebody referenced somebody's back being so wide and sexy. It was weird. But here we are. Thursdays we drop episodes for more titillating. 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 Wow, what a word. Titillating episodes and other stupid shit we're going to say. I don't know what else to say. I have blitzed my brain out, but it was a great episode. I want to say thank you. Keep checking back and comment with us. Marzipan, hello. What's the Narnia? What's her name? I can't remember her damn name. I'm bad at remember names. I got to write them all down one day. I'll start shouting all of you out. Send us a buck. Write them all
down.
Let us know it's real.
Yeah.
Send us $1. Let us know it's real.
And whoever wants to be a guest, I wanted to start doing like a segment where we just call random people because I found my old phone, so I figured I might use my old phone. But we'll see how that goes out. If you want to be on, if you want to be on, DM me your number. No funny shit though. But DM me your number, or if you just want to be a guest and have some equipment.
No funny shit though.
He's about to get a bunch of dicks. Like he immediately. No funny shit.
Actually, no, don't give me your number because we can just call you on Instagram and you can just Instagram in and we can just do it the real getaway. But
that was the funniest
shit. Where did I put that old phone? But yeah, follow me on Instagram at thin.cruel.lips. Follow the pod at National Meat Treasure on TikTok and Instagram, and at NMT Pod on Facebook. If you are a small twink boy, DM Christian, because apparently he's been thinking about this wide bear's back for, 10 years now? He said 2013 he knows, man? Been thinking about this for 10 years now.
Quite a long time. Bro, he was one of those guys that I guess he was just like, he was like hot, but also like a man's man kind of, I guess, in that world. And so, he lived in the West Village, right, with a bunch of very effeminate men, hang at these bars and whatnot, and they would literally just throw themselves at him. Like, he would go to, if you've ever been to the West Village, Big Gay Ice Cream, fucking awesome. He was a plumber, and he was the owner of the company that I worked with. He literally went there himself, and they were like basically like coming in their pants. Like they were like, "Oh my God, Daddy!" Like look, like I was like, "Whoa." I have never seen people behave like this.
So were
this
you?
Is usually frowned upon. I did. I sucked his dick after. No, I didn't. Please don't.
You wish.
Please don't say that. No, I wouldn't. No, thank you. No, thank you. He has no, bro. Like he's. But that was
you like can't formulate a good reason in your brain that you didn't suck his dick. Like it was never like, nah, I wouldn't do that. I'm straight. You were just like, I just didn't suck his dick because I don't really know why I didn't suck his dick.
I'm not homophobic.
What changed the trajectory of your whole life if you sucked the 2013
I'm not
dick?
afraid of sucking a dick. What I'm afraid of is falling in love with the wrong person.
God, I appreciate this podcast so much.
This is a retreat. Sorry, Joey. Go ahead.
Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Saint Thrilla. That's it.
It's been a good time. Goodbye.
Man, I'm on this 303 baby timing, man. Hey, yo, Thrillah, man, what we doing, gang? Hunters coming and make sure that paper going all around. I ain't trying to hit